Welcome to my channel Heart Meets Spirit. This channel is intended to support you improving and changing your life. Live a life of love, trust and confidence. Enjoy.
I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's begin. Here's the deal. I will never work in a relationship. I just won't. If I'm working in a relationship, something's wrong. I'll work on me. And I'll bring my best. You bring your best, and we get together and we celebrate.
And it should work.
It should work. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to step back and see what is it about me, not you. What is it about me that I need to really look at and change? Now, if there's a vibrational match and it flows and it's fun and you connect on physically, mentally, mind, body, soul, that's cool. I think that's healthy. But a mission-driven person can't be in a relationship where you have to keep going back and trying to fix something. I just won't do that. I just think that when it's right, and I'll know. Yeah. So I do think that relationships can be easy, and I do think and I think that they should be. And I think that if you're heart-centered, that's a different place you meet than other emotions. And again, every time I have a mystical moment and I feel that transcendental love that I don't even know the word for, every time I have one of those moments, I think I got this all wrong. It's just that it is not chemical; it's electric. And
you got what all wrong?
Well, the way we view the world, the way we don't see things how they are, we see things how we are, and every inner experience that's transcendental experience enriches circuitry in your brain. Experience produces emotion or energy in the body. So you start having transcendental moments where you start connecting to that field. Its signature is love. But not love like a love for your puppy. This is like an arousal. This is, I don't know the other word, but bliss.
Spiritual arousal.
And we have the evidence. We can say, oh, watch this person's brain. And scientists are studying our work. I'll say, oh, watch, she's going to pop in a few minutes. What do you mean? Just watch, she's going to pop. And all of a sudden, this person goes into an arousal. The sympathetic nervous system is so switched on, but the arousal isn't like an arousal from the environment that produces anger, or aggression, or fear, or anxiety, or pain, or suffering. That's survival in the environment that produces the arousal. This arousal is coming from energy in the body that's moving up into the brain, and the arousal is bliss. The arousal is ecstasy. The arousal is
freedom, peace.
But it's not chemical. It's you'll feel it in every single cell in your body. Now here's the outcome of that. The outcome of that is that when you open your eyes and some conditioning, some layer has been removed, your spectrum of the way the world looks broadens now, because now you're wired to perceive what's always existed, but you didn't have the circuits in place to perceive them. So then it's the inner experience that literally transforms our experience of the outer world. And so when you start having moments where you hit that kind of frequency, or you have those moments of love, you're less dependent on anyone to bring you happiness. You're okay. You can love the person for their flaws, because you can see a part of yourself you used to be that you no longer are. And instead of judgment, you have compassion, and you can encourage and communicate from a level of connection instead of intimidation or competition, or however relationships work. So I do think that it's energy and vibration, and I think that in our community, at least, people who have relationships that are built from our community tend to be more long-lasting, because they're more self-aware. And so there's no blame, there's no excuses, there's no make wrong, there's no competition, there's none of that. There's just, this is who I am, and I think that the ultimate goal is when you reach the point in your life when how you appear to the world is who you really are. That level of transparency it takes no effort. You can be yourself, and people say to me, wow, you're pretty approachable, and I say, Well, God, I work so hard every day on overcoming myself in the morning, overcoming my ego.
Yeah.
Why would I want to build it up the next day? Because I got to face that guy again tomorrow morning.
Course.
So why not just keep, taking those edges and smoothing them down so that you're less unconscious to all of those programs that are built in relationships. We are like a living organism. I mean, the company is just, our community is growing so large. I think our biggest challenge right now is finding venues and the logistics to be able to go to the next level of being able to do it on a larger scale without losing the efficacy or without
the intimacy, the connection.
Yeah, I mean, we've done really great, Louis, as a culture into responding to the world's needs, and I mean, we hit challenges all the time, and I was just telling my staff in a meeting, look, we just can't keep doing things the same way. You can't ever do that again. It's not a time that doing things the same way doesn't work. So you got to be able to grow. You got to be able to learn. You got to be able to stay contemporary with all the new technology and everything else. And you got to keep bringing on a bigger team. I mean, I am nothing. I am nothing without my team, honestly. I mean, between my staff and my team leaders and our volunteers and the way we do things, it's a living organism. Everybody counts. And for me, when I have a group of people where everybody leads, you see those school of fish or the flock of birds all moving together. You study that phenomenon. You think that there's some leader that everybody's following. Turns out there is no leader. Everybody's leading. It's a bottom-up phenomenon. So you get a really greased team that really is heart-centered, that really has the intent for the greatest good. And it's not about them. It's about how they co-lead. And I think that helps me do one thing really well, and that is to focus on the people in the audience instead of everything else. So we've been growing, I think, for the last 15 years or more. And I think just our biggest challenge is to be able to handle that growth. I mean, I was just talking to my team, we get over 8,000 emails a month. I mean, with people with a lot of health conditions, a lot of questions,
They want support.
And so we're building infrastructure. We're building online ways to get people engaged and to be able to, for me, to provide resources for people. So I think the biggest challenge is if I could, I'm going to stay healthy, but aside from staying healthy, is just being able to handle the growth. Well, first of all, my kids have grown up with this work.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine, like, my oldest son coming back to one of my advanced workshops 3 years ago, and my friends saying, "Hey, is this your first advanced workshop?" And he kind of glances over at him and says, "I've been in the advanced workshop for 25 years. What are you talking about?" So my oldest son is one of my team leaders. He's got a master's in engineering. He lives in Denver, in Boulder, Colorado, and he's passionate about the work. He met his fiancée at one of my workshops,
cool.
and they're very, very similar. My daughter lives in London. She's got her master's in art at the Royal College of Art, and she's probably the best creator I've ever met in my life. I mean, she's just wired. She knows how to do it. And my youngest son is getting his degree in architecture at Cal Poly, and they're all at different stations in their understanding, but they understand the principles. And I've always said to them, if you can figure this out early on, the rest of your life is going to be magic, right? Because you know what to do, and they're pretty wired for it now. And I've really worked in setting up conditions in their lives so that they can apply these principles from an early age. And now that they're older, I think that they understand how to do it.